is Lucas Cicita.
My name's DeBarn Jarvell.
My name is Luis Hermosillo.
My name is Nathan Talon.
My name is Nate Brav McCabe.
My name is Lonnie Iski.
I am a Midwest filmmaker from Jackson, Michigan, and I currently live in Rockford, Illinois.
And I'm a director/writer.
I'm an event and brand filmmaker here in the Rockford, Illinois area.
And I guess I would be a jack of all trades, so I feel comfortable doing a lot of the different jobs, but typically I find myself slotted into either director, DP, or editor.
I'm a senior global content director for a big ad agency.
I run a video production company in Rockford, Illinois, known as Vixen Productions.
I don't know if there was one aha moment for me, but in middle school, high school, when you're around those ages where people start asking you, what you want to do with the rest of your life. I suppose I was a little stubborn and, thought, well, if I had to do something for the rest of my life, I want to make movies.
Growing up, actually, I was actually always interested in video more than anything. I remember my mom got me a few cameras for my birthday, which my birthday's in Christmas, and it sucks because I get screwed on gifts, but I always got a really nice gift, so I'm not gonna complain. But I was always the kid within my friends that had a camera. I was always sad to I remember me and my cousin recording video, making home video movies and stunts and stuff like that on camera. And so what sparked me getting into filmmaking was, after doing photography for over a decade, I wanted something a little bit more challenging, but that still didn't take away from the composition, the coloring, the creative part of it that comes with photography. And so that was video for me. I always kind of stayed away because I felt like it was just more work, and it is, but I didn't realize how much filmmaking in video really brings into it fulfills, actually. I didn't realize how much filmmaking fulfills all of those pieces in me.
As a kid, I was always a fan of, telling stories, even though at the time maybe I didn't necessarily know that, where I would play with my action figures or with friends or Legos and come up with whole storylines, whole worlds, even create seasons of TV in my head. And I think that just was always subconsciously in the back of my mind. And as a family, we always watched a lot of movies as well, but a friend called me over once and said, you have to watch this movie, and it was Inception. And what I think Christopher Nolan does well is he combines kind of the art house and the blockbuster, which provides a nice gateway for a lot of people to get into the more cerebral type filmmaking. And that's exactly what it did, where the first 15 minutes blew my mind in a way that kind of everything clicked in my brain. So when it came time at the end of the movie for the credits to roll, I see all of the names, all of the jobs attributed to making this movie come to life, and I thought, I could do one of those jobs, I feel. And so ever since then, it kind of clicked. I never really knew what I wanted to do until that moment, and I told my parents, and they were saying, they give you the whole, are you sure? And then I explained about, okay, well, even if I don't necessarily make movies, I can do this. And they're like, okay. And, they started looking for all sorts of opportunities. They found RVC, they found some classes at the high school that I went to. And then so I started in high school, senior year, just took the media studies class. And from then on out, I was just studying how to be a filmmaker.
I just fell in love with the storytelling. And once I did that, it was, okay, let me reach out to the characters. It was a lot of people I knew that I reached out to. I wanted to be a part of my project, but it was some people online I felt was perfect for roles. So I reached out to them and asked them, did they want to be a part of it? And everybody believed in the vision, and we made it happen. Yeah, I was a factory worker for a while. I started having vision issues. I have a condition called keratoconus, and my vision started to slowly deteriorate, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna lose it or not. And I told myself, if I'm gonna lose my vision, it's not gonna be working in the factory. It's gonna be doing what I wanna do. I quit the factory job, and I put everything into film and content and everything that I always wanted to do.
I've done so many short films, so I would say one of my biggest achievements was my first short film. We got into Cannes through like a student program, so that was very cool. I got to go to France and watch our film, which was awesome. And then a reoccurring thing I do every year is the 48-hour film festival, which I don't know if people know, but it's basically you go to a place, you assemble a team, you go to a place on a certain Friday, you're given a genre, a character, a line of dialogue, and a prop, and you have to make a film in 48 hours. I've done that the last 5 years, and it's chaotic and crazy, but I love it. It's really fun, and by the end of 48 hours, whether you love it or hate it, you have a film. It's a fun process.
One of my most memorable projects is probably one that happened in 2021, and this project landed me and Luca in Boykin, Alabama, in a little community known as Gee's Bend. And this community is very secluded from the rest of the world. It's kind of its own little entity. Like, it's 45 minutes away from any hospital, any grocery. Like, it's its own little island. And we went there and were there for a week. And Gee's Bend is actually well known for their quilts. The women of Gee's Bend created these quilts to stay warm just out of pieces of fabric that they could find, any kind of pieces of fabric that they could find. They recycled jeans and threw them in the quilts just to stay warm. And some art dealer discovered them in 2006, and now their quilts are all over the world in famous museums. So we went to Gee's Bend and filmed a quilt being made from beginning to end, and it was an incredible experience, and it was one of those life-changing trips, and I will never forget it.
I just got an opportunity to direct kind of the big summer class for mass comms called MOPIC. I think all the students show up day one, and they're each a different role that resembles that on an actual film set. And the teacher is the director, and you go out as a class and make the class film, and they break into smaller groups and make their own films, and at the end of the summer we screen all of them. I got the opportunity to direct the all-class film this year and kind of help teach the students in that way.
Aspiring filmmaker, I think we tend to compare ourselves to individuals that are further along in their journeys, and that's kind of where imposter syndrome starts to creep in. And I think that it's important to know that imposter syndrome happens to everybody at some point in their career, and that you got into filmmaking because you felt fulfilled in some way. It brought joy to you. And I think that that is important to remember when you feel maybe like you're not good enough, is that if you're still finding joy in what you're doing, then you're successful in my book.
This isn't anything that groundbreaking, but technology's only advancing. You know, we all have one of these in our pockets, and frankly, anybody can make a movie these days. You know, that's kind of the fun of it. You know, it seems kind of intimidating, but what's stopping you? You know, the only thing that I think is yourself. You know, if you have an idea, go and try it out, you know.
Just get out there and do it. Don't sit around talking about what you're gonna do. Get whatever camera you can afford and start filming stuff.
Go shoot, create, anytime that you can.
I think most importantly is be kind. I can't tell you how much people notice when you're kind on set. Like, I've met so many people who maybe didn't even do the best job because they were learning on set that I'd absolutely hire back because they were kind.
Today, what I think is most important about filmmaking is people say that it's impossible to see through another person's eyes, but I think that filmmaking lets us do that for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So just think of it through that way, share your story, find what's important to you, and study not only films from here, but different countries, because you're also seeing a different culture through their eyes as well, and you can see the power of filmmaking through that lens as well.